my YouTube. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing a college Q&A panel, and I have a few people here that we're going to ask questions. Okay, so we're going to start by everyone saying your name, your major, and where you're going to school. So starting with Jalen.
I'm Jalen, still undecided. I'm going to St. John's in Queens.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor. I'm going to Spelman College, and my major is dual engineering, dual degree engineering, and it is located in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi everyone, I'm Gabrielle. I'm going to the University of Maryland, and it's located in College Park, Maryland. Oh, I'm majoring in computer science.
Hi everybody, my name is Promise. I'm majoring in psychology. I'll be attending North Carolina A&T in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and I'm majoring in musical theater at Penn State University.
Now we're going to go in the same order and answer what made you choose your school. Jalen?
I guess it was location. New York City is really a nice city.
Yeah.
It was out of state, so I could get out of my house.
You're getting your house regardless.
They would have made me live at home if I went to
They don't
university.
you.
They don't
But
want
you.
that's pretty much it.
Location.
The city.
My major is anywhere. I'm so undecided. So.
Taylor?
Okay. I guess just the major that I'm in. So the dual degree engineering program, I'll spend 3 years at Spelman and then 2 away at a different school. So, I mean, I thought that was unique to the school, and I wouldn't be able to get that at any other college, really.
For me, mostly because it was like a top computer science program in the country, so I just wanted to go to a top school for computer science, and then also it has in-state tuition, and it's a really big campus, like a really big school.
Well, when I visited, that's when I realized that I really liked it. I liked the vibe. I liked how everybody was super friendly, and it's one of the top HBCUs, and I was looking for an HBCU, so that's why I chose it.
I chose it after I visited the 3rd time, and I watched a bunch of musical theater classes, and I really loved the vibe. Everyone was really nice, and in most MT programs, people are super competitive toward each other, but I could tell that the people here were really supportive of each other and lifting each other up and learning from each other, while also gaining inspiration from other people's success, I guess.
Okay, next question. Are you planning on working during the school year?
This school year, no, but next school year I'll be tutoring French.
Plug. How much do you pay?
$15 an hour.
I don't really need a D, I need to.
This year, probably not. Yeah, in the future, most likely, but no.
Yeah, I probably will, because I have a job there already, so.
Not this year, but hopefully next year I can do work study or something.
Yeah, hopefully 2nd semester I can get a job.
Oh, what was the application process like for your school? I.e., lots of essays, interviews, etc.
For St. John's, it was in Common App, so it didn't have any additional writing, so just the Common App essay, all the questions. It was rolling admission until a certain date, so it was pretty easy to submit your application, and they responded pretty quickly.
Okay, for Spelman, there's I think 3 different applications. You could do early action, early decision, and then regular. I think I did early action, which isn't binding, so I actually had a plan to apply to a different school first, but that messed up. So I did apply to Spelman instead, and basically I only had to send in my Common App essay and my SAT scores and stuff. And yeah, I didn't have an interview, but I mean that was a good thing because I applied early and that considered me for scholarships and stuff. So
yeah, so my application was on Coalition. It just had the Coalition essay, and I also applied. It wasn't called Early Action. It was called. What was it called? priority deadline.
Yeah.
They call it
And
something different?
yeah,
But it's
because
the same
early
thing.
action technically has to be before a certain date,
Oh, okay.
and UMD just wants to take their time. So, so it's like priority decision. So like you're more likely to get in during that time. So yeah, that's when I applied.
So I applied early action, which was before November. Was it
November 1st.
November 1st? I applied directly on the A&T website. It was really simple. There were no essays, so my process for applying there was super easy.
Yeah. Well, I had to do a Common App, and then I had to do my essay. Then I had to record a pre-screen, which is like a bunch of stuff. If you look on Paper Mill Playhouse, they have like everything that you need for next year. After that, you get an in-person audition. So I went to Chicago and auditioned there, and then you get a call in February if you got in or not.
Intense.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah.
lot. That is a lot.
Yeah, and I did that for like 15 schools, so
Wow.
it was not fun.
Wow. What do you recommend other people do to help themselves get into college in general, and then for your school in particular?
SAT score is the most important thing for this school because since I didn't get above 1,400, I lost out on just a little bit of scholarship, which would have been full tuition, but I got almost full tuition. So.
Oh, he just wanted the flag.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I would say having a really creative essay and not being afraid to like talk about a specific topic that you think like would be really revealing, but I would still talk about it and like do it in a creative way. And I guess for Spelman, I mean SAT score and GPA like count if you want a scholarship, but I don't know. I guess so. SAT score and GPA.
Yeah.
Having a good transcript.
Yeah. I mean, on top of SAT score and like GPA, I would say like having like a well-versed like background, like make sure you have like clubs and activities, and like you're not just a one-dimensional student, like you're just good academically, but you're not really in like participating in anything else, because there's plenty of people out there that are smart, and you need to like show why you're different than everyone else. And then for Maryland in particular, I would just say like apply priority. I mean, I live in Maryland, so like we already have a priority, so I don't really know, but yeah, I would apply early if you can to whatever school. Yeah.
For A&T, they're really selective as far as out-of-state students are concerned, so you just have to really stand out as far as like the clubs you're in, the classes that you take. Of course, you have to maintain a good GPA, but you just have to stand out as far as the activities that you're involved in. That will really help.
I think for schools in general, you should really try and like show that you're interested, because as an example, like for one school that I really, really liked, I like went over and over again. I was always there. I was always talking to like the admissions people. I was always like, hey, nice to meet you. You know what I mean? Because I wanted them to know my name when my application came in. And for Penn, I would just say apply before November 1st so you can get all the scholarships and stuff and like the honors college and everything.
So the next question is a little bit more touchy, the touchier question. Why did you choose a PWI over HBCU, or why did you choose a HBCU over a PWI?
Gee.
Here we go. Here we go.
You got it.
And for those of you that don't know, a PWI is a predominantly white institution, and then an HBCU is a historically black a college or university. Okay.
Okay. I chose St. John's because I don't know. It's a really diverse campus, so it's not just white people and black people. So this is New York City. It's like everything you can imagine. So that experience, like being in Prince George's County, going to Roosevelt, you're still exposed to everything. So just like mirroring that effect that I had was very interesting to me. So.
I mean, I would say, I really don't know at this point, because, I mean, if we grew up in PG County, which is already majority black, so it's kind of like we grew up in an HBCU all of our lives. So I'll be honest, like I honestly wanted to venture outward and actually attend a PWI instead to see, like, my field is majority white, so I would, like, be exposed to that already. But I mean, when I visited the school and I saw the community and I saw how close and how you actually develop a sisterhood, and especially in this like day and age, Black women are definitely not as appreciated as they should be, since we are like the core of everything.
Period.
Just saying. I think Spelman was probably the best place that I could have like developed all of my skills and everything, so I could present them to the world and be successful.
As a Black woman.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Kind of the same thing. We like grew up in Prince George's County, so we like grew up in an HBCU setting. I was used to being around Black people. At any moment, I can just go home and I can be around Black people. So I kind of was like, okay, like I feel like it's time for me to, you know, see what the world is really like. And of course, you're still gonna have BSU, and you're still like UMD is still in Prince George's County. So if I ever need a break, I can just
Just hop home.
Go ahead, just go
Ride the metro.
But Howard is a metro stop away, so you know I definitely will be going there for homecoming, and if I ever just needed to like be around other people that look like me, and yeah.
For me, I just really like the community at A&T. They're very nurturing. I feel as though when I get out in the workforce, I'll have plenty of time to be around the counterparts. You will. I will. So I just wanted that experience for my undergrad, and hopefully I'll be attending med school, which will probably be at a PWI. So I just wanted to have that HBCU experience for my undergrad years.
I'm not really sure. I wasn't really like pressed to go to like an HBCU or a PWI, but like just for me, like the programs I wanted weren't like necessarily how I wanted them to be at like an HBCU. So yeah.
What is something that you wish you knew before applying to college?
Well, I'm not close to the first person to go to college in my family, so I was pretty much fully versed in what I needed to do for college. So.
I mean, I wouldn't really say it's about applying to college, like what I was worried about or didn't know before applying to college. I was more so set in a mindset that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a full ride somewhere. Like, that's definitely gonna happen. Like, so I don't know. I was more like thinking, oh yeah, like you got this, Taylor. And then after applying to like hundreds of scholarships, like that's not realistic.
Your dreams are crushed, man.
Yeah,
Crush your dreams.
Like,
And
you already
honestly,
said-
the college
yeah.
admissions process is anti-Black. If we really
I mean,
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
man, your self-esteem.
We both got nothing.
Your self-esteem goes down so much.
yeah, it really does.
You're really setting yourself up at this
Yeah.
point. Like, if you want to go, like, if you want to go to Hopkins or Harvard or something like that, make sure you have the money, like, rolling in. Apply to all these scholarships.
Yeah.
You still
'Cause
might
if
not
you,
get them, so
probably
so
won't,
prepare
but-
They
yourself.
don't really give out money.
If your
like
parents
that.
have a house, you're not going to Harvard.
Like the same thing. I wish I knew that they didn't give out money like that, because sometimes you would attend someplace different if you had more money, and they kind of just don't acknowledge the middle class at all. So like you can either afford to go to college or you can't afford to go to college. And maybe I wish I would have like in high school like focused on a track like more specifically. So like if I wanted to major in something, I would have done that major throughout all of high school. And I know that's kind of like, you know, hard to do like at 14 to decide what you're going to major in, but it probably looks a lot better on your transcript that if you want to go into like business, that you've been taking business classes for 4 years. And yeah.
I wish I would have known to apply to more scholarships directly through my top schools as opposed to these little tiny scholarships, because you can apply to a lot of them, but the chances of you getting them are very slim. So I wish I would have applied or took more time to apply to the scholarships that my schools that I was interested in were offering.
I agree. Yeah. I wish I didn't apply to schools just for like the name. Like, I would just apply to some random school and I'd be like, all right, I'll just apply to you. But I would go and visit and I'd be like, oh, this is horrible. And I just wasted my money. So, like, don't do that.
How did you choose your major? Jalen, I know you don't have one, but
I'm undecided.
All right, I'll go first. I chose my major. I mean, when I first got into high school, I wanted to be a lawyer, and I was like so set on being a lawyer because that's. I watched the Cosby Show. It's a little controversial now, but I watched cricket.
It's okay. It was back in the day.
Yeah, so I watched the Cosby Show, and then I literally wanted to be like Claire. Like, I saw how happy she was. Claire is the wife of Bill Cosby. Yeah, but she was a lawyer, and she was just like really happy and had like a nice family. So I was like, I want to be her. And then sophomore year came around and I took AP Gov. And that was not fun. So I was like, I'm not going to be a lawyer. Let me figure out what else I want to do. So I took this science camp and I was like, oh, I mean, science isn't that bad. I mean, basically, most of us are in a science and tech program already. So it was kind of like we were kind of pressured into going into a STEM field. But yeah, I just decided that I wanted to be in the products and hair industry and cosmetics industry, and I was like, and I loved chemistry a lot, so just get my degree in chemistry and chemical engineering, and then make a hair products company, and bam.
That's fine.
All
That's
natural.
so cool.
Au natural.
Yeah.
How did I do that? Oh, well, I just did like a summer thing too. So I had like this Girls Who Code like internship, and I like never did like coding before, and I really liked it. So I mean, I was kind of opening my options up because I didn't want to major in bio. I didn't want to major in bio. I didn't want to major in bio undergrad and like go to med school because I had like this doctor talk to me about her life, and she was kind of like talking about like, you know, how she would talk to herself like before she went to med school, and she was kind of like, you know, think about your options before you go. It's not for everybody, and you know, you have to prioritize what you want. Like, do you want a family? Do you want to be a doctor? And yeah.
For me, at first, I wanted to be a bio major. But then I sat myself down. I was like, you wouldn't last. Yeah, I wouldn't last. And then I took a psych class my senior year, and I was like, wow, I really like this. I like the mind. I like how the mind works. So why not major in psychology?
Yeah. I've been through a lot of different majors, all having to do with science, and I hated all of them. And I realized, like, that's not for me. Like, I would go to camps, like, with Gabby, and, like, I think we did a Navy camp thing. Was that you? We did a Navy camp, like, in 4th grade, and I was like, I'm gonna be an epidemiologist. Like, looking, like,
What even
chemicals.
is that?
It's basically,
Study
like, you, like,
epidemics.
study diseases and stuff,
Oh.
and I really ended up liking it, and it's basically, like, the broad term was, like, global health, and I was like, that's so cool. So, like, when, like, a big disease comes out, I get the shot first. And it sounded like smart.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
I'm so selfish.
No,
I
because
the exact opposite of being a doctor. You want to get it first.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean,
When you see a side effect, you're gonna be the first one to get
Yeah.
it.
no, it's after it's perfected and
You hope
everything.
so.
I'm like,
I
just
because
take
they
one
always
of my
say
family.
99.99%.
Is that one?
Yeah, 0.01%.
That ends up being me. I mean, true. Yeah, but I mean, I have been doing shows like every summer continuously, and the last summer that I did them, I was on stage and I was like, dang, like, I want to do this my whole life. So then I just applied to all the schools.
What were things that you were looking for in a school, like when you were choosing what school you were gonna attend?
Needed to be a big school.
Mm.
St. John's is like 20,000 people in New York City too, so it can't really beat that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out my Instagram.
Oh God.
Fashion and shoes.
All
Oh, you're
right.
into
New York is a
fashion.
fashion capital, and I like to paint shoes and clothing, so that's also another reason. You can really start a lot of things there. Parties. That's just,
You haven't been. Your mom's
No,
not like.
Your boss is gonna be like,
I'm getting there.
is that really for you?
I know. She's gonna be like, go home.
He's regretting it
and honors
already.
program. Honors
And
program.
honors,
Okay.
I'm in
That's
honors
the
at
one
St. John's,
academic.
but I didn't get an honors at Maryland.
Okay. I would say location. When I was looking, I definitely didn't want to be like some random place in the South. Like
The
Purdue
big
was
place.
in
Oh.
friggin' I don't even know. Like, I didn't want to be in a random place. Like no, but I wanted usually like a bigger city, or at least a place where I could easily access a bigger city. I definitely I'm gonna be honest. Like I definitely wanted a name. Like I wanted a place that had a big network where if I go somewhere and wear a shirt out, there would be like, oh, you're one of them. Like
Yeah.
you're definitely bringing, like, you have a full package. Now let me give you a job. Like
Right. Like, give me a job.
yeah, just because of what the name is. And I mean, I like being a part of a top school.
I mean,
but,
Subtle.
but yeah. What else?
So I mean, I just wanted to be in like a big school somewhere close to like a city, so it's like close to DC. I also wanted to be kind of in like a college area, so like there's UMD, there's Howard, there's Morgan, Towson, like there's a whole bunch of colleges nearby, so if I ever wanted to like go visit other people, then it's like easily accessible. I mean, also I wanted to be at a top program that's like recognizable as well, like when you go to Silicon Valley or like big tech like places like in Texas, like they know University of Maryland is a top 10 school, so you know, I want to be a part of that. So yeah, another flex.
I wanted a big school, and I wanted a really strong alumni network, kind of like Taylor said, where it's like, oh, you go there, now let me give you a job. That's what I want. And of course, the HBCU, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I wanted a big school. I did not want to know everyone there. I think Penn has 40,000. I didn't want to be in New York, and I kind of wanted to be close to New York, but like I wasn't really pressed to be in the city, just so like I could hone in on like myself and not like feel like, oh, maybe if I go to New York for this audition, I'll just drop out of my program. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Yeah. No, because like a lot of people who like end up going to schools in New York, they'll just be like auditioning for things, and then boom, you're out your program, you're on Broadway, then you're off Broadway, and you don't have a degree. So, I mean,
That's so sad.
it's true.
Wow.
It's a sad truth, but it's also a cool truth because you're on Broadway. And I really wanted like the best training. I wanted to be surrounded by nice people who still pushed me to do my best, which is definitely Penn.
Yeah.
So all of you wanted to go to big colleges. I was the only one that didn't want to go to a big college.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Why do you want to go to a small school?
I mean, I like knowing everyone. Like, I like having a small community where you can literally just go across the street and be like, hey, like, what's up, Ken? What's up? Da-da-da. Like, you remember those close
Yeah,
memories?
that's
No, that's
Was
for
it because
me.
you went to a big high school?
So you want to go to how many people are?
I guess so. I mean, I noticed that when I was there too. Like, I liked being a part of a select program, like science and tech, and like knowing mostly everyone in the program.
You like
that's
being
what I
the
liked.
Right.
I do. Okay, that seems like
That is what you are, no? Like,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Go ahead.
That's like Louis stop. My program, my freshman class only takes like 20 people, so my class only has 14.
Wow.
So the program is really, really small,
Yeah.
which is really nice because you get like personal attention, like you really like you be learning compared to like a program that has 30. You're like hiding in the back, not really learning anything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of wanted a bigger school than Roosevelt. Like, I feel like once you just keep going up and like you just expand your network because everyone's gonna be going to a whole bunch of different places. And also, like, people always say like you can make a big school feel small, but you can't make a small school feel big.
That's true.
So, you know, you can always have like
I'm waiting for a rebuttal.
you're always gonna have like this small like community of people. Like, obviously, like Black girls in computer science is probably like 12 of us if we're being honest. So you're gonna have like that small, and I'm like, that's not a joke.
It's the truth,
but
Like, oh.
like you have your small community, and then when you want a big like football game, you want a big basketball game, when you want to have like big activities, you have that as well. Like, you don't just have like a small community of people. And if you don't want to talk to people, you don't have to.
Exactly.
Which is what I liked about Roosevelt.
My earbuds could be in and I could walk.
Yeah, I don't have to see you for the whole day. You don't know my business, I don't know your business.
Period.
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 I'm not like, I mean, I just like having a smaller community. I really do. And
I mean,
it's
you
just-
can make
yeah.
but Spelman is different.
But there's
because-
Morehouse and Clark,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can
You
have
can
that
make it
big
feel big.
school feel, but you're in a
Yeah,
small.
That's how it. Yeah, it's similar to Roosevelt. Honestly, it's like
Hers
here-
is different because
Yeah.
she's in the AUC.
Yeah, that's different.
If you were
Special
like,
case.
if you were like in like the middle of nowhere in your small school,
Lynchburg.
how many schools did you apply to, and about how much time did it take?
I applied to about 11. Some of them were the ones that just emailed you, so it wasn't long.
They
But
don't learn.
most of them were in Common App, so there's really only one application. But some of them had the little small essays to do. What was the other part of it?
How much time did it take?
I didn't really like spending time applying to things because it just seemed, I don't know, waste of time to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Common App was just very convenient.
It's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
I applied to 12 schools, and most of them, like, at least half, or like some of the really selective schools that had a lot of essays that you had to write. So that took a lot of time. And me, I'm not exactly the best with time management. So with some of them, I definitely did it the day before, which is not good. But
You got it done. You got it done.
I got it done.
Month
Yeah.
59
The
or
day-
month
Time don't matter.
But it was really stressful too. Like
Yeah.
I can honestly say, like, senior year, I had the worst grades of my entire life because of like.
And they
the
probably weren't
college
even that
process.
bad.
But
look at her now, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah, I mean, manage your time. And all you juniors watching right now, go work on your essays. Stop watching this video, please.
Actually,
Like,
we want
No, stop that. Work on your
If you
video.
get it done, you get it done.
I think you just need to start over like a long period of time. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty good with time management, surprisingly. So I started like in August. Like as soon as Common App was out. First off, no, before Common App was out, because University of Maryland, if you're applying to University of Maryland, go on their website, look for their essay questions, and it's online. And I posted the link like before we applied. So if you go on my Twitter, you could actually see the link, and it shows you the essay question. So I actually wrote my essay for UMD before it was even released on Common App, because Common App doesn't open until August. And a lot of the stuff you can find online for each school, like they post it, and it's the same questions every year. So just like answer those questions in advance, and then like make lists, like go on Google Sheets and like outline, okay, where I'm gonna apply early action and regular decision. So I applied to 17 schools, which was really excessive, and I definitely don't recommend doing that. I just had like free applications, so I just applied, but just apply to schools that you actually would want to go to, because I applied to a lot of schools that I wouldn't actually want to go to. So don't waste your time, even if it's over a long period of time. Just apply to where you want to go.
Right. I applied to 8 schools. Majority of them were on Common App, and I did what Gabby did because I'm good with time management. All you guys out there, listen to me. As soon as Common App opens, start it. You don't have to finish it, just start it, because it's a lot of information and it can be overwhelming. So just start it over like a period of months, and then you'll get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you stop the stress.
And it's not stressful at all.
Yeah, it's not stressed. Like I wasn't stressed.
Mm-mm.
So start early, and so it didn't take me that long. And then only like a couple of them I applied directly through the website, the school's website.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
You had a long process.
Yeah, I started getting my stuff together, like figuring out like which schools I wanted to apply to and everything, like making a sheet in August. But definitely like stuff would be due on November 1st, and I was up on October 31st with the tripod and the camera at 2 a.m. putting on like the nice sweater and being like, "Hi, my name is Alyssa Stanford," and no pants, like no pants, no shoes, just you see the top half of my face, like, literally. And I still like passed my pre-screen, so they couldn't tell that I was tired. But I don't recommend that. Please, like, don't do that. Don't do that.
How many schools did you apply to?
15. Don't do that either.
Wow.
Okay. Next question. How did you study for the SAT/ACT? He didn't.
Just be honest.
I didn't really feel the need to. Maybe I just looked over the composition of the test, like the time. But other than that, I didn't really study the topics because I take the classes this stuff was on. So other than that,
Anyways, don't do that.
I used Khan Academy. Again, time management. I would do it like a week before the test, and I would just like cram it in, and then and then take the test. I really struggled in the reading section. I did like really well in the math section, but the reading was like average. And I would attend like some SAT like sessions, but they weren't really helpful. And I took both. I took the ACT and the SAT, and I didn't study for the ACT at all.
yeah. I forgot
Yeah,
about
you
that.
like you already studied for the SAT, so just take the ACT and see how well you do.
Right.
Yeah. So I took both too. I actually studied for the ACT, and I'm not really a great standardized test taker. So I didn't really do well on I didn't do well on either of them. They were okay scores, but yeah, I would just say use Khan Academy. That's really helpful. Like the books, just doing it over and over and over again. If you're like a sophomore, I would like start studying now. like for your SAT, for your ACT, especially if you know that if you want to get a full ride, you need to at least study. Like
For the
don't
PSAT.
Yeah, do
Not-
the
Get a
PSAT.
No,
perfect score on
the
PSAT.
Yeah.
The PSAT means absolutely nothing unless you're
Unless you
trying to apply
get
for national
the,
merit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you
So
get national
if you
And
merit,
if you
that
get
helps
national
out.
merit, but that's great. But what really matters is your SAT score, because more than likely you're not going to.
See, but I don't
qualify
agree
for
with that. I feel like SAT isn't really that big of it.
It's not.
I just feel like, I mean, it's like a benchmarker. So if you get the benchmarker, then you're good. Like if your benchmarker is 1400, just get 1400. That's it.
Plus, schools are moving away from tests.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you don't need a 1500 if you're really like.
I mean, I'm not
Honestly,
saying you need a 1500.
Yeah.
But you would need one of the top. What is it, like top 1%?
99
Like,
percentile,
Yeah,
something
so
like
that's like the top 1%. You need the top 1% score in order to qualify for national merit, and I mean, you don't really get as much as you should from national merit. So I think that you should study in advance if you know you're not good at standardized test taking. But honestly, it's not really as big of a deal as you think it is.
Yeah, I took an SAT prep class, which didn't really help. It helped with strategy. I would study strategy more so than content because that really helps.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did Khan Academy. My scores were fine, but I'm not really a fan of those. I feel like if you're a well-rounded student and you stand out, you'll be fine, even if you have bad SAT scores or ACT scores.
Yeah.
I had a tutor because
She's rich.
I'm not good.
Mm.
No, I'm
Oh, I
really.
had a tutor too.
We had
Did
the
I say
same
that?
tutor, bro.
Yeah, we
We
had the
had
same
the same
tutor. Sorry, I
I'm
had
broke.
a tutor, and I still didn't do good. So I had a tutor. I did Khan Academy, and I did the books, and I didn't do good. So
Yeah.
Find a way
I
whatever.
did pretty. Like I wasn't. At first, I thought, oh, I need like a 1400, or I'm gonna die, and I'm not gonna get into any school. Like blah blah blah. You don't need a 1400. Like honestly, unless you're applying to like Harvard and stuff like that. As long as your application is well rounded, you really don't need it. But I used my tutor a lot, and I studied strategies because
Yeah,
honestly,
that
if
helps.
you know how to do it fast,
Mhm.
like
yeah,
you can
And
finish
time
it
yourself during
Time.
the test, that
Yes.
helps.
time matters more than actually knowing what you're doing and being able to cross off stuff.
Right, that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's
Was
what I
that
do.
once you know what isn't the answer, you just have to pick between two.
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
So yeah, and then I would do that, like I would cross it off, and then like if I didn't have time to go back, I would just circle one of, like it's 50-50 shots.
And
so I'll just,
if you don't know the answer, still choose the same letter
Exactly.
each time because
Yes,
there's a
yeah,
greater
yeah,
chance
we're
that
like
one
that.
of those will be that letter. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What was I gonna say? I remember the first time I took it, after studying like with my tutor for a bit, I was struggling. I was doing the reading and I was like, whoa, there's like 10 minutes left. I did not finish. But then I like really like studied, and I really like studied strategies, and I was done with like 20 minutes to spare. I took a nap. I was chilling.
Right.
Yes.
See, what you need to do is go to Target, get a cheap little watch,
Mhm.
and time yourself. Look up online like the time limits for each section,
Yeah.
and time yourself.
And study
It
like
helps.
each like type of reading passage.
Yeah.
Because there's different ways that you can finish.
And there's
each
different
reading passage.
questions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's like a formula to it.
And
Once you
different
figure out
strategies.
the formula,
Yeah, because College Board is a scam. They rounded my SAT score down.
Are you talking about the June test?
Yes,
Yeah.
they rounded it down. It should not have been where it was, but it's fine.
Why
Yeah, you
do
do
that?
Because
Yeah, I
people
took it
did
too.
too
They
well.
wrote it down.
Are you serious?
Yes.
For real?
That's not fair.
I got
though.
like
That's what I said.
4 wrong on the math section and got like a 690.
Yeah, exactly. I got like
Yeah,
four
because
Oh.
apparently they gave an easier test, and then they curved it down instead of curving it up.
Then I take this
Which
August
is
one.
not-
So
But it's
I
not the
would have
fault
missed
of the
out on
person.
scholarship money.
Yeah.
Because,
literally.
okay.
So
You
that's
took the
why
June one?
Yes, I took the June one.
Let's me, I didn't know.
that's literally why
Man.
College Board
The
is a
June
scam.
one was easier though.
It
No,
was,
that's
but I
what
But
wasn't
it's not our
mad.
fault that
Everyone
we were
everyone
administered
walked
that
out
test.
of that test like, oh, I'm doing really well. I'm gonna do really well. But the curve, like the way the curve works, is that if everyone does really well, nobody does really well. You know?
But that's rude.
and
If
it's
I
not
did
your
really
fault
well-
that you're given the easier test.
Yeah.
But it's
So
also
some
not
people
fair
are
to
screwed.
other people that had a harder test for
Well-
you to get that score. Like, it's not fair if you get an easy test for you to get a 1590 and everybody else has a 1380 because they didn't get an easy test.
Yeah, but then think about this too. Like all the people who took that easy test and then got all of them right, got a straight 1600. That's like, really? Like, oh, really? Like OC? Like,
Yeah.
all these people who took a harder test and, like, worked for it and, like, had to struggle with all these hard questions got 1600, but then these people who took the easy questions got the same 1600.
Yeah.
True.
So that's why I think it's a scam. That's why I think that you shouldn't judge on standardized tests, because you work your whole 4 years in high school doing your transcript, and then you have one Saturday. Yeah, one Saturday you go in. You can either do really well or not do really well, and then
That's
that
already a
determines-
scam. It's at 8 a.m. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Test scores don't
Exactly.
matter as much as
They
you think
really
they do.
don't.
Don't
Your-
stress over
Your
them.
grades and your test
Period.
scores, like, they aren't as big of a deal as who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So
How does your major correspond to your career choice? So basically, what do you want to do with your degree?
Well, okay. I would say I'm undecided, but I'm leaning towards like maybe philosophy, psychology. So as far as career choice, I guess I would say I want to be a philosopher, but that's not really a career. But
Yeah.
I just like to think about thinking, like basically.
I mean, my goal is to travel the world at one point, so hopefully after I get my chemical engineering degree. I talked to one of my guidance counselors who retired this year, sadly. But she talked about how her son-in-law like worked for International Paper, and he's a chemical engineer, and he basically like travels the world and like goes to different meetings in different areas of the world. So that's kind of what I would do first, and like establish myself and like save money, and then like pursue my other dreams and goals, like creating a business and stuff.
I don't really know exactly what I want to do. I think I want to do something obviously in tech, but I don't know if I want to like start my own business, work for somebody else. I definitely want to like travel, and I think that's pretty easy to do in the tech industry because you don't really have to be present, like because everything is tech, you know, it's in the cloud. But you know, I would want to have something that's a little bit like free, like you can do it when you want to do it. There's no like 9 to 5, like you can work when you want to work. And yeah.
I want to be a dermatologist, but I'm majoring in psychology. I hate explaining this. I don't want to be a bio major.
Nobody wants to be a bio major.
I want to major in psych, and for everybody out there who's thinking about going to med school, you don't have to major in a science. You can major in whatever you want to major in. You could be a philosophy major as long as you get the prerequisites for med school. So that's what I want to do. I want to be a dermatologist. That could change. Who knows? But for right now, I want to be a dermatologist.
Yeah. I don't know. Right out of college, I just want to be booked, hopefully on like an international tour, so I can like travel the world and like still do what I love.
Wow.
And I guess come back to New York and hopefully book some lead roles, get some money, settle down, retire.
Yeah, it all planned out.
Write a book about my life.
Like my big thing is I
You're
want to like
bestseller.
make I want to make like a STEAM school, which is like STEM and like the arts, and, like where you can have your own major, but like your own major within it, but you still have to learn like all of the components, because I just think it's like interesting, but not just STEM because STEM is boring. So you add in arts, and because STEM is boring.
Last question. What are you looking forward to in college?
Wow. Well, orientation was a pretty nice preview to college. It's just like living on your own, sort of. It's just like growing up, basically, because it's no longer like high school is you're basically coddled. Your parents are always around you, but now it's like time for you to like take control of what you're doing, and it's really setting you up for your whole life. So the experience is gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be great for me. So
I'm looking forward to, I mean, I feel like everybody who goes to HBCU says, oh yeah, like the parties and social life, but that's not really what I'm looking forward to. I think just like meeting new people, hearing their experiences, hearing about their cultures, and like finding like a lifelong friends that like maybe someone lives in Jamaica. Oh, we're gonna go spend the summer at their house. That's great. Like, that's great. And I mean, I think I'm more so excited about the mystery behind it. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what clubs I'm gonna join or who I'm gonna meet, but it's like so like exciting just to think about what's ahead of me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to meeting a whole bunch of different like kinds of people from different backgrounds, especially like international students, and just like life outside of like the bubble that I feel like I've been living in, like predominantly like Black area. Like I kind of want to hear about other people's experiences, not necessarily like non-Black people, but like even other Black people that have lived in a predominantly white area, and like what they've experienced versus what I've experienced. And you know, it's gonna be a lot different. So I'm excited to meet new people.
I'm excited to meet new people too, and people who have gone through different things, and people I feel like I can learn from. And of course the social aspect, because I didn't really get that in high school, so I really want that in college.
I knew you were gonna say parties and social life.
Yeah, because I didn't really have that much of a social life. Well, I did, but I feel like I can meet different types of people at A&T. Also classes. I'm excited for my classes. I know that sounds really nerdy, but I'm really excited because it's different types of classes. I'm excited for my African American history class.
I'm taking
Yeah,
that.
so
Excited.
that's what I'm
Isn't
excited
it
for.
required at like every HBCU?
Yeah.
To do African American
Mm-hmm.
studies class.
Yeah. I'm excited to learn, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like
That's excited to learn.
No, like really, because I've been learning like not stupid stuff, but stuff that I don't particularly enjoy for a long time. And this is gonna be the first time where I'm like fully immersing myself in like what I want to do. And I'm super duper excited. If you guys are watching this, shout out to my freshman MC class, because they're the best and they're so nice, and they literally are some of the most talented people I know, and they're gonna be on Broadway, period. So
Period. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys really liked it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hope you found it helpful.
yeah, ask
Yeah.
us questions.
Use our tips.
If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below.
Our Instagrams are in the description
Yeah.
below.
Instagram, so
Our
we link
social
down
media
below.
is in
Yeah.
the
And if you want
description.
another video like this, be sure to reach out and let me know. All right.
Bye, YouTube.